Hey guys, it's Mallory here with All About Cats. In this week's video, we're going to be taking a look at an automatic self-cleaning litter box called the ChillX AutoEgg. I first started hearing about the ChillX AutoEgg when we began releasing reviews of self-cleaning litter boxes, and we started receiving a lot of comments requesting that we review this litter box. I hadn't heard of it before, so my curiosity was piqued. The ChillX AutoEgg appears to be a relatively new addition to the self-cleaning litter box market. It's marketed as a stylish, minimalistic automatic litter box and uses a raking mechanism similar to that seen in the Litter Maid, which is an old classic that we reviewed earlier last year. So stay tuned to find out exactly what I thought of the ChillX automatic litter box and whether or not I think that this is a wise purchase. So let's start off with assembly. What do you get when you receive your box of the ChillX AutoEgg? When I received the ChillX AutoEgg, I received the litter box as well as a few other accessories. So I got a scoop intended to both scoop any litter if necessary, as well as clean the tines of the rake built into the ChillX AutoEgg. It also came with a roll of biodegradable waste receptacle liners, as well as a startup guide so that I would know what to do. So the ChillX AutoEgg has a few different parts to it. So you get the egg base, into which is set a litter tray. That's what your cat is going to be using. And then there is a track along the sides of the litter base, and that's where the motor is going to sit. Now, when I received the ChillX AutoEgg, I had to do some tweaking to get the motor positioned just right. They say that occasionally the motor can be bumped out of place during transit, so you have to get it into the right position. Once you've gotten that onto position, you're going to want to make sure that the ChillX is equipped with this little step, which helps to collect any litter on your cat's paws before they leave the litter box. And you're going to want to make sure that you have a liner in the waste drawer. As soon as I started handling it, I could tell that the pieces of the ChillX AutoEgg just didn't really fit together all that well. I think the place where this was most noticeable was when putting on the lid of the ChillX AutoEgg. When I tried to put on the ChillX AutoEgg lid for the first time, I assumed I was just doing something wrong. Every single time that I had to take the lid off and then put it back on, it was this frustrating process with a lot of slipping and struggling to get it into place. Again, at first I thought I was just doing something wrong, but after referring again to the instructions and watching some other customer reviews, I knew that it wasn't just me. So overall, as I was putting the ChillX AutoEgg together, I was getting a distinct impression of how well built this automatic litter box was. Once the ChillX AutoEgg was fully assembled, it measured 30 inches long by 19 inches wide by 17 inches high. And for those of you who use metric, that's 77 centimeters long by 48 centimeters high by 44 centimeters wide. So overall, it's relatively small compared to other automatic litter boxes, and it also has a pretty small litter bed. So the litter bed inside of there measures about 11.5 by 13 inches. And in addition to a small litter bed for your cat to be digging in and using, the ChillX AutoEgg is cramped in another way. The entrance to the AutoEgg measures just 7.5 inches or about 19 centimeters in height. That means that your cat is going to have to squeeze through a pretty tight area in order to get into the litter box. Once everything had been set up, well, except for putting on the lid, it was time to put the litter into the litter box. The ChillX AutoEgg has minimum and maximum lines so that you can put the right amount of litter into the box, and they make a few recommendations about which types of litter you should be using in the ChillX AutoEgg. They discourage you from using a few different types of litter, the first being silica gel crystals and any type of pellet litter. They also discourage you from using a few different types of biodegradable litter, including tofu, wheat, and corn. Fortunately, I had one of their recommendations on hand, which is Tidy Cat's 24/7 Performance, and I poured it in up to the maximum fill line. Once set up and plugged in, the ChillX AutoEgg is going to turn on and you're going to see the display screen light up. So this display screen is where you're going to see a log of how many times your cat's used the ChillX AutoEgg. It's going to give you information about when your cat went, how much they weighed, and how much they deposited into the litter box. The usage tracker is also intended to give you alerts if anything is abnormal. So if your cat's waste weighs less than 5 grams, the log will show up as red, indicating that your cat has had an abnormally low output. With everything set up and ready to go, I was pretty excited to see what the ChillX AutoEgg could do. So before trying to use it with the lid on, I set it down next to my cat's existing litter box and just left the lid off so that they could explore it more naturally. They started using it right away, and I got an opportunity to see how it worked. So the AutoEgg has these 4 weight sensors that allow it to detect when a cat weighing at least 4.4 pounds or about 2 kilograms enters the litter box. 5 minutes after the cat has left the box, it's going to initiate a cycle. The ChillX AutoEgg also runs 4 automatic cycles at 3 and 9 p.m. and 3 and 9 a.m. That translates to really frequent cleaning, a lot more cleaning than you would be doing, and theoretically a cleaner litter box for your cat. So again, the ChillX AutoEgg cycle works a lot like that of the Littermaid with a few differences. One is that it has these ridges in the litter tray and a 70-degree angled rake that is intended to kind of scoop into those ridges as it moves along the litter bed. I found that everything ran quite quietly. It was probably one of the quietest automatic litter boxes I've tried, and overall the process seemed pretty smooth. Now, as for how well it cleaned, I found that it didn't do the greatest job. In addition to seeing some waste remaining right there in the litter tray, I also noticed that some was getting stuck along the track that the rake mechanism is supposed to move along. So there are a lot of little nooks and crannies where waste can get stuck in the ChillX AutoEgg. So overall, I didn't find its cleaning performance to be all that impressive. Now, as for odor control, that was about what you would expect for an automatic litter box that wasn't really doing the most thorough job. One area, though, where the ChillX AutoEgg seemed to do quite well was scatter control. I didn't notice a lot of litter coming out over the sides of the litter box, so it seemed that the way that the ChillX AutoEgg was built allowed it to do a pretty good job of keeping litter contained. Again, there was not a lot of scatter or tracking outside of the ChillX AutoEgg litter box. So with one cat using the ChillX AutoEgg, it's recommended that you discard the contents of the waste drawer once every week. So you'll slide the drawer out from the back of the litter box and then dump the bag into the trash. Compared to some other litter boxes like the Littermaid, for example, which can get a little bit messy in that process, I found that discarding the contents of the ChillX AutoEgg was pretty clean and a straightforward task. In addition to taking out the contents of the waste drawer, it's recommended that you do some regular maintenance in order to clean out the ChillX AutoEgg. So you're going to want to take it apart and do a deep clean. I only used the AutoEgg for about a week, so I didn't get a really good understanding of how often I ultimately would be deep cleaning it. But even after a week, as I mentioned earlier, there was quite a bit of waste stuck in some of those nooks and crannies. Now, the makers of the AutoEgg note that all of the pieces are kind of separated in the unit, and they say that this is intended to make it easy to disassemble, but at the same time it also means that there's going to be litter dropping into those areas, as well as likely some waste or dirty litter kind of getting stuck underneath the main litter tray and in other crevices around the ChillX AutoEgg. But overall, I would say that cleaning the ChillX AutoEgg was a pretty straightforward and easy process. The only challenge is that you're likely to have to do it a little bit more often than you would with some other automatic litter boxes. But now that I've talked a bit about the basic performance of this unit as a litter box, I also want to talk a little bit about its sort of health monitoring feature. So again, the ChillX AutoEgg has this little screen that allows you to track how many times your cats use the litter box. And this is a feature that I was really excited to see. So as you probably know, keeping tabs on what your cat is doing in the litter box is a great way to monitor their health. While I did find this screen helpful in that it helped me to get a better understanding of my cat's weight and how often they were using the litter box. For example, I was able to see that Wessie and Forrest were both using the litter box when it had the lid off, but once the lid had gone on, only Forrest seemed to be using it. I also got some insights into their weight. I also ran into some issues. It's very difficult to see when you have the lid of the ChillX AutoEgg on. I'm not sure if the company intended to have you take the lid off every time that you want to check it, but I found this to be kind of an inconvenient location. I think that it would be much easier to access if it connected to an app so that you could just track it from your phone. So while I really like the idea of having a litter box that had this health monitoring functionality, I really don't know that the ChillX AutoEgg was pulling it off all that well. As for price, the ChillX AutoEgg costs $399 in the ChillX store. You can purchase biodegradable waste drawer liners from their store. These cost about $39.99 for a 160 bag supply, which should last you for well over 2 years. So overall, compared to other automatic litter boxes, there are a lot fewer recurring costs, which is a good thing. All things considered, is the ChillX AutoEgg a good choice? I found that I was probably spending more time cleaning up after the ChillX AutoEgg than I was enjoying the convenience of having an automatic litter box. There are a few ways in which the ChillX AutoEgg is a little bit better than some other automatic litter boxes, but aside from its good looks, its quiet performance, and its ability to control litter scatter, I can't say that the ChillX AutoEgg is among the best automatic litter boxes on the market. It's a good concept. I really wish that I could say that I had found a good automatic litter box with a great health monitoring system that allows you to track your cat's weight and their urine output, but the ChillX AutoEgg just isn't it yet. Overall, I really felt like I was using a prototype. It didn't really feel like a finished product. Between its kind of flimsy construction and the issues that I ran into, it overall, again, didn't really feel like a finished product. My experience is not universal. In fact, I've seen people absolutely raving about it in various places around the web. It seems like some people really enjoy their experience with the ChillX AutoEgg. So if you've used the AutoEgg, I would be really interested in hearing about your experience. Have you run into the same issues? Or have you had a better experience with the ChillX AutoEgg? And do you have any tips for others to get more out of this automatic litter box? I would love to hear about your experience in the comments, so please share them down below. In case you want to try the ChillX AutoEgg for yourself, check out the link in the description. We'll put a link to their store so you can take a look at it for yourself. If you found this video helpful and you're interested in more product reviews, buyer's guides, and information on all things cats, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you get the news every time we release a new video. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.